Welcome to the Challenges of Change, the podcast where we explore the transformative journey towards self-improvement and personal growth. I'm your host, Laura, a mindset coach in the health and fitness industry, here to guide you through the hurdles that life throws at you. In each episode, we'll delve into practical strategies and insightful discussions to help you manage stress, regulate your emotions, upgrade your mindset, and ultimately reclaim your sense of worth. I'm thrilled to have you join me on this journey of change, challenges, and self-discovery. And we are back for another episode of the Challenges of Change, and I have the one and only Jess back with me. I know you missed her because I missed her. And we were talking offline before we started recording, trying to be ourselves, be authentic, navigate what we wanted to talk about and share and the challenge that we all experience. And today's theme is life, just life's shit and the challenges that we experience and how we experience them in different multitudes and different platforms and different domains. But they all come back to similar human experiences.
Yeah. Life's almost always coming at us at top speed. And that can feel a little overwhelming when we're trying to do this work. You could call it self-improvement. You could call it plugging into yourself, recalibrating, whatever it is for you. But even while we're trying to heal, even when we're trying to recalibrate, life is still happening at full speed.
Yeah.
And it's funny, but as I've noticed that as I'm working on certain aspects of my life, the universe or God or whoever you believe in, source, tends to kind of like hop on board with whatever it is I'm working on, and life will drum up these examples and situations for me to be in
Yeah.
that is going to test my mettle.
Yeah. One of my favorite and least favorite quotes I heard in another podcast was, I called this experience into my life so I can transcend it.
Yeah.
And I love hate the quote because blame and being a victim is easier, right? It's easier. It's somewhat like self-validating, but it's also super powerless. Like, congratulations, you're blaming something and now you can't do anything about it.
Right.
And
You have no autonomy here.
right. And so like I see the pull of the victim sometimes. I can understand why people go there. And it's funny, like even when I can feel like I'm being victimized, like I'm in a circumstance where something was taken from me and I'm not actually in my full autonomy, I still seek like, okay, well, how did I create this experience? How did I allow that to happen? Because I know the second I can look at where my power is, I get access to it. But it's hard. And I think like we talk a lot about different challenges, right? And we talk about it from a coach's perspective, which is super valid. That's our expertise. But I'm not sure we always acknowledge just how hard it actually is,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it's hard to because, right, yeah, I mean, here, so I'm like sinking into that feeling, and I think it comes from, right, we want to encourage people to take this journey. And I don't think that I'm ever in denial that it's hard, but I don't know that I also advertise that it's hard.
Yeah. And ironically, I was at this like fundraising networking event last night, and I asked a question to the table that I was with, like, tell me about your first experience with networking, because like everyone's first experience is awkward. And this one woman trailed off into like her son starting to network. Long story short, there was a guy at the table with all like five girls, and I asked him like, how do you like, your son's really good at doing this, like how did you support him, how did you help him, just to like kind of have him share with her. And he said, in more or less words, modeling it, like having him see him do it.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes me think about like what we're talking about. Sometimes people think that personal growth is linear. And I know we both try and do our best to say like, no, 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 no. This bitch is circular. It goes around and around in different like stratospheres, and it's amazing and meaningful and hard, right?
Mhm.
And I do want to be encouraging, just like you, but I think it's also really valuable to be relatable and to model like not only authenticity, but like what it's like when we're in the shit. Because guys, today, Jess and I are in our own
Oh,
individual shit. We literally came into this
indeed.
like, can you tell I've been crying? And I'm like, no. Can you tell I've been crying? She's like, no. And then we talked about the bags under our eyes for like 5 minutes before we started recording.
Because life comes at you.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
crying's not bad. I like to say crying is farts leaving your eyes, because like
Oh,
people aren't weird about farts, but they're weird about crying. Like it's
mhm.
very cathartic. Yes, my eyes look swollen. So what?
Yeah.
You know?
I had a wellspring of emotion, and it's just only emotion because, and think about how beautiful that is and what a unique experience that is that you could have an emotion welling up inside of you. It could be good or it could be bad, right? However you're experiencing it. Um, but it could be so big that your eyes leak. Isn't
Mhm.
that silly and fun?
It is fun. It's like your tank is so full, you need some water to leave it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I also think like I remember one of the things I've said to multiple clients, because tell me if this happens with your clients. When they start crying in a session, do they immediately apologize?
Yes, they do
Yeah.
that a lot.
And I have a rule in my coaching sessions that you are more than welcome to cry because crying is not a problem, as a lot of society has made us think. But you get three I'm sorries, like to like remind them like we don't say I'm sorry for crying. And then I just start to say buzz every time they say I'm sorry for crying. And I
Yeah,
remember one client specifically, she started crying and she apologized. I'm like, listen, I get that everyone in your life has made you feel like you need to apologize for your tears, and they were wrong. Your tears are
yeah.
beautiful. They are a reflection of your humanity. They are a reflection of how hard you're busting your ass to keep being you, to be a better version of you, to be the parent you want to be, to help your employees. It is hard fucking work, and your tears are a reflection of that. Don't shame yourself for seeing how hard you're working. And
Oh, yeah.
she verbalized back to me like it made me proud of my tears. And it was weird because I've never felt that way before. And I was like, yeah, I get that.
Hey, that's a win. We should be proud of our tears. It makes me think about how I'm always, I've told you this before, but I'm a cerebral person, right? I live mainly in my head,
Mm,
have done so for decades now. And so a lot of my practice, my personal practice, is coming back into my body. And so tears are like a celebration either way, whether it's because I'm very sad or upset or frustrated. It's my body saying I'm here with you in this. uh, you're not alone, right?
yeah.
So a lot of times when we're mad, frustrated, upset, we're usually up here,
Yeah,
right? Because
man.
it's the narrative.
All right, we got to go with this because you just pushed on what I would like. Yeah. So you're very cerebral. I'm very opposite, right? Like I'm very in my
Yes.
body. And what I've noticed, so I don't know if this is your experience too, is because of the world we grow up in, we feel like we need to intellectualize our emotions because we're ashamed for them.
Yes.
And I've practiced a lot of just like, this is my feeling. I don't need to always justify it or explain it. Yes, understanding your emotions makes it easier to validate yourself. And I think that's true. Makes it easier to lead yourself, to motivate yourself. So I do think there's some value in understanding them, but I think it's also okay, when do I? Sometimes we just need to feel and then understand because you know how like if you're too close to a speaker, you can't really hear what someone's
Hmm.
saying. That's
Yes.
what I feel like happens when we're too close to the emotion. It's too loud. We can't really hear the emotion. We can hear the pain, but not the emotion itself. And to me, that's where I feel like I just need to feel. I don't need to explain it. I don't need to get rid of it. And, last night when I was crying, I noticed all these urges to get rid of it. I went on Instagram multiple times and I went through like two like swipes and I was like, that's not what I fucking want right now. I looked at the candy cabinet multiple times, not hungry, knew it, felt it, said that out loud.
Yep.
Tried it, put chocolate in my mouth. I was like, that's not even what I fucking want. I
Yeah.
put on a movie, a happy Disney movie. I didn't, and you want to know what's funny? I didn't want to feel good. I didn't want to. Everything
Yeah.
I was doing was trying to make me feel better. And I finally realized, like, you just need to feel, Laura. And I like went in our guest room and I laid on the bed, no phone, no dogs, and I just cried. I did bring tissue. That was the only thing I brought with me. And like
Yeah. That's a
it
good
was
call.
not like like it was like, peaceful, rolling tears, just letting whatever that was, the sadness, move through me. And
And that's what your body needed in that moment.
and then I could hear the emotion. Like that's kind of my thought process here is like sometimes we're so fast to intellectualize it. We're so busy trying to fix the emotion to get rid of it. And that's not what we need. We need to sometimes feel so it's not too loud to then hear what the emotion's actually trying to say. So like again, I'm a body person, you're a cerebral person. So like is that true in how you experience it too?
A little bit, but again, remember, I'm up in my head first, so I'm that intellectualizer. And the intellectualizer usually wants to shut down the body experience and move on,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's not very logical to spend time, right, processing this emotion. We've got things to do, right? There's, mind wants to move forward and shut it down. And so that's why I was saying those tears welling up is that sign that body's right here with me
Mm.
and it is participating in this, whether my mind wants to intellectualize it away or not. So it's a great signal for me as the cerebral person to say, oh, my body's going through this too, it's not just a thought I'm having.
So
And
can you
so,
always like know or hear the sentiment of the emotion, or is it too loud?
oh, it's a gobbledygook up there in the beginning. So, and it's hard because I'm going to now tell you, I want to tell you about the brain and how it works, and you already know this. But I'm not, my logic brain isn't online when I'm that upset. It
Right.
wants to be, it wants to
Yeah.
think I am.
Yeah. You're really smart. No, I'm not.
I'm not because I'm so angry or upset or frustrated or sad right now. And
Yeah.
so, what's really going on up there, even though I'm in the moment, I'm very convinced I'm having a logical thought process, is that a narrative is being spun.
Hmm.
And we've learned through our work that the narrative isn't always helpful.
Nope.
It usually is got ties in our past, some previous hurt or event. So those tears, right, and that welling up, because my body doesn't actually hurt in those moments. I feel almost nothing. It's only when I get the signal, right, and I allow my body to join in on what's going on, and I leave my mind to come down into my body. Forgive me for using these terms. This might not make much sense to people, but I'm speaking from somewhat within the experience. When I'm down in my body, that's when I can feel what's actually happening, right? I might feel that racking in my chest of like the kind of it's not a nice deep smooth roll of breath. It's more of like a shorter, raspier, kind of racking kind of breath, right? Even those little like kind
Yeah.
of things when we're crying can happen. I'll feel like the waves of the emotion actually moving through me, um, and that sort of thing. And it can be scary at first for someone who's cerebral because, if you're not used to that, you're used to shutting things down. You're not used to what feels like almost being awash in the ocean with no footing.
Yeah. The what was coming up for me was grounding. So like there's three things you said that like ping-ponged in my brain. You know, I'm a big fan of the Gottmans when it comes to like relationship stuff.
Hmm.
And they typically talk about marriage, but like ultimately it's relationships. So it can be with anyone. So I apply a lot of it to like your relationship with yourself. And one of the things that they talk about is like you might know your partner and pretty much be able to have a full conversation in your head with them, but your partner is a human being who's still always evolving. And part
Hmm.
of like the healthy relationship is like, even if you think you know, still ask, still getting to know them as they evolve. And I think the same thing is true with us, right? Like I think
Yes.
about how I used to try and show up when I was feeling emotional versus how I'm showing up now being emotional. And like, not only do I have more skills and more knowledge, but like I experience my emotions differently. So like I need to experiment. I need to explore me as this person today and what support looks like. Hey guys, it's me. I just want to pause you for a brief moment because there's something important that I think you need to know about. So often when I'm in sessions, I hear people talking about how lonely they are, how anxious they are, and we really do need each other. And I've seen through a lot of my corporate work the power of growing and evolving together. So I am super excited to announce that I have launched my community, the Challengers Circle, where you get to come in, become a challenger, connect with other people going on personal growth journeys, understand what the circumstances are like, share your challenges, and see how similar we all are. And there are so many resources in there to help you, from a personal coach to guide you through it, different chat rooms to share experience, different labs where you can literally practice boundary setting, practice saying no, practice regulating your nervous system. Whatever it is that your challenge is, we have created such an in-depth platform that can really, really help you create the change you want to see, because it's not just about the information. It's not just about knowing. It's about the ability to apply. And because we believe in this so wholeheartedly, we are giving anyone who joins a full free month of everything that we offer with the personal guidance of a coach to make sure you are supported, you are accountable, and you are being guided through. And after those 30 days, you can decide which level works for you. If you want to stay in the free level, that is perfect. We want to see what you use. And between now and the end of the year, if you do decide that one of the paid tiers is what's best for you, we are offering $100 off to anyone who joins before 2026. So if you are ready to accept the challenge, truly enact the change that you've always craved in your life, now is the time, and we have created the zone, the arena for you. It's time to come home to yourself, and that is what the Challenger Circle stands for. Or it looks like. And we tend to be like humanity as a race. Like we tend to want like just tell me what to do. And if I do it consistently, it will fix whatever the problem is. If I eat this way, I
Oh,
can always lose weight. If I market like this, I can always get clients. If I soothe my emotions this way, they will always go away. We just want to know the equation. And that's addition. And
yeah,
people are quantum. It is not addition. And that's
yeah,
part of the frustration is we want to know, but why? Why do we feel like we need to know? Because we're so uncomfortable with being ungrounded, which is why I think like learning who you are your own ground.
yeah.
And
Well, I
like,
think, I mean, that's the human condition, right? We're
right.
all running around trying to make sense of what's going on around us. And the joke is there is no sense to it. It is utter chaos all around
Right.
us.
Yeah.
But it feels good to put things in boxes and make them make sense, to create a narrative that makes sense. It helps us feel at ease in a world where we can't predict what's going to happen next.
I know. And I mean, what I'm gonna say isn't gonna be helpful, but like it helps us feel better, but feeling better isn't always the right direction. Like,
It's not.
did you ever, what was that show? shit, I'm not going to remember it, but there was a show on Apple with therapists, and I think it's Jason Sudeikis played or one of the Jasons played the main therapist, and he like pretty much didn't talk to his like super bubbly best friend for a year after his wife died. And eventually they reconnected, and the best friend was like, "Why did you stop talking to me?" And his answer like has stuck with me forever because it's so true. He's like, "Because you just wanted me to be happy, and I was miserable. I was mourning. I hated everything, and you just kept trying to make me happy, and I couldn't deal with it." Like I just needed to mourn. And his best friend, who's like this super bubbly guy, was like, that makes sense. And like that was it. And they like moved on. And like I think that's really important too, as we're like showing up for others in our lives, but also for
Mhm.
ourselves. Like allowing people and allowing ourselves. Like one of the things you said before we started recording is like allowing your anger. I did the same thing last night. I was angry. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to push it down. I'm not going to tell myself I can't be angry or that's not like, I haven't heard myself say anger is a mask. I'm like, so what? Right now it's anger. I'll get to the mask after the fucking anger. I don't need to try
Right.
and like force that or move that. Like what is enough. And it's like I was playing the best friend and the therapist in my own brain. So like
Yeah.
I'm perfectly healthy. I promise I'm not that crazy. Like that's just how the brain works. Um,
Yeah.
but giving my like allowing and giving ourselves permission to be where we are versus where we wish we were. You know, like I would have loved
Exactly.
to feel better. You would have loved to feel better. But
Oh,
sometimes,
yeah, given an option and a preference,
yeah.
right? My preference is to feel good.
Yeah.
But that I would, if I felt good nonstop every day for the entirety of my life, I don't know that that would be a human existence.
Would it be meaningful?
I am not sure about that.
I know.
you're talking to somebody who has found so much gold in all of her past challenges and all of those quote unquote negative things that had happened to me. They created fulfilling and meaning in my life
Oh my God. Yeah.
because
I'm
of
like,
how I was able to pivot from them and overcome them or
learn
transmute them or to move through them.
the
And that's
lesson.
where I find meaning.
Yeah.
So, right, we do that with our kids too. We want so much good for them. And at some point, if you're really an aware person, you have to realize that we can't keep them from everything, or we would keep them from the best things. Because
Mhm.
I get to feel the pride of being a badass warrior, not because life was easy and everything was handed to me, but because I had been through hardship and had to fight.
100%. Like, I've we don't like the skill building aspects of life,
No,
right?
nobody wants to get up and do all those sit ups, but man, does it feel good when that stomach's tight.
Yes, ma'am. And like that's the point. It's like what's worth fighting for? And like understanding if you want confidence, like so many people come to us wanting confidence, right? But they're too scared to put themselves in circumstances to build confidence. And I get it, and that's not like a plug or shame on anyone. Like that's super human. But like
Yeah, it's the cycle, right? You need the confidence to go get the confidence.
right. And like people talk about like I don't feel motivated. I'm like, you don't feel motivated to start. You get motivation once you start. Like people
Heck
have like this
yeah.
messed up equation as to like the pace of it, right? And like I think the same thing is true with emotions. Now, I like animated movies. I'm a child. It's fine. I love that about myself. And Sing, the movie with the animals,
That's
is
a good
coming to
one.
my brain because there's a song that is like, I want to feel love and pain, joy and something. Like it's the contrast of emotions. And like,
Mhm.
yeah, I want to be brave enough to feel both. I don't want to limit my excitement or my joy because I know it's going to eventually go away. Like it's gonna eventually go away,
I'll
regardless.
take that one step further and say that we actually all chose this, and that's why
Yeah,
we're here.
I know, but people aren't gonna resonate with that one as much. You're right. You're so right. But people have a hard time recognizing, same, like I have a hard time recognizing that like I chose to prioritize, the event I was at versus like being on the phone, right? Or I chose to prioritize working versus answering a phone call or whatever it
Mhm.
might be. And every choice we have, we are losing something and gaining something. When we
Yeah.
choose comfort, we lose the opportunity to build a skill, but we might gain the opportunity to be with ourselves. It depends on the
But I
moment.
mean, choosing to be human. I mean, let's just pretend for a moment that we got to choose to be human.
With you.
Yeah. And so when we chose to be human, we chose this life. We chose the fact that we were going to experience both sides of that coin.
Well, a lot of people don't experience both sides. A lot of people, like one of the things that Brene Brown always says that shocked me was the most vulnerable emotion, according to the studies, is joy. And I remember being like, what? How is that fucking joy? Everyone loves joy. But then she explained it as like, because from joy, you have the longest distance to fall.
To fall.
And I
Yes.
was like, that makes sense. Because I never understood when she would say, like, if you limit your bad emotions, if you try to control your bad emotions, you also limit your good emotions. And it's true. Like, literally, my husband and I are house hunting, and I remember showing my mom this house, and it was beautiful and great. And as I was about to hang up to like go talk to our realtor, she's like, "Now, honey, don't get too excited." And I was like, "I got it, mom." And I like hung up on her because and I literally said to my husband, like, "No, I want to be excited. I want to allow
Yeah.
myself to be excited because I also know if I don't get it, if I have to experience grief or sadness because of that, I'm okay with that because I have me and I want that. I'd rather experience the height of excitement
Mm.
and try to protect myself from the depth of sadness. Because, okay, let's say I did. Let's say I limited my excitement. I'd still feel like shit if it didn't work, you know? Like it's that it doesn't actually make you feel better.
Right. You're stealing your joy today in order to and not actually getting it tomorrow, right? You're just forfeiting the joy altogether when you do something like that, right? When you forfeit the excitement. And you're touching on something that's just so beautifully human. And I just want to express like how many stories are out there that we have all heard and known. Whether they be novels, movies, other people's experiences, or our own, where feeling a great loss, we don't chalk that up as one of the bucket list experiences that we came here for, right?
Hmm.
Um, but you, what you highlighted there was so gorgeous in the way that you did it, because what you said there was, but with great loss, the only way to experience great loss is because you had to have experienced great joy
Hmm.
in order to experience that great loss. And so there's your choice. Would you choose mediocreness and below for an
Hmm.
existence just so that you never had to experience great loss? Or would you say, F it, I want to experience the grandness and the boldness of joy and love and all of those amazing positive experiences that are possible for us in this lifetime, knowing that it comes as a package deal?
I I don't think like to your point, like choose. Like, would you rather? It's a choice. And I think it's moment to moment that we ultimately are unconsciously most of the time choosing because of our filters and our set points and our limiting beliefs and all the shit that we help people like rewrite, you know?
Mhm.
But sometimes, depending on where you are in your capacity, depending on your trauma, if your kids are around, like maybe it's not right now, but there's also like I think there's just a responsibility we have to ourselves to take better care of ourselves. And I don't think we've been doing a great job as like individuals. I know I
Yeah.
hadn't until I became a coach for sure.
No, I think there's different ways of, well, it depends on how we came up, right? So, and what your interpretation of that is.
Right.
Because I think all of us have an interpretation of what self care is and taking care of ourselves. Um, the emotion of anger when I was right processing this over the
Mm-hmm.
last week or so is a protector emotion,
Mm-hmm.
right? So was I happy with anger? No, I was not happy with anger, and I didn't like the experience. I didn't like the feeling, and I definitely felt the stigma of I shouldn't be so angry or I shouldn't express my anger, right? So you hear that shouldn't in there, which means it's not mine, somebody else's. So somebody else gave me this rule that I should not be angry. And so when you shouldn't be that one thing, but you are, right, there comes criticism, here comes judgment, here comes pushing it away or denying it. And all of those things led up to anger hanging out for a long time and showing up in ways that I wasn't, that I didn't approve of, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but anger was there to take care of me. It was a protector and it was protecting me from something. And it was only when I took the time, instead of denying it and pretending it wasn't there, even I would visualize it kind of locked in a dungeon almost, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an angry person. What? um, when I did that, I was taking a part of myself that was actually very protective of me. It was taking care of me, and I was locking it in a dungeon. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the interpretation of what we're doing to care for ourselves in those moments, and sometimes that interpretation is not really truth or our own truth, but it is something that we've been kind of taught externally to believe. And once we're able to kind of untangle that a little bit,
Yep.
then we can have those conversations with the parts of ourselves. So how was anger protecting me in that moment? You know, what was it doing? um, and how is it useful? I mean, let me tell you, when we were talking about this stuff is hard,
Ah,
I'm sitting there going, there is no way I can possibly be okay with this feeling, this emotion, because that feeling, that emotion in my mind hurts others. I
mm.
cannot be okay with it. That was try one
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
trying.
There's two things that you said that are popping up. Like first and foremost, like this is why I love the Challenger Circle
Mm-hmm.
because knowing you're not alone in that struggle in the hard makes you just feel normal. And like hearing other
Yes.
people like even like our conversation right now, like half the time when we're listening to podcasts, be that this one or a different one, we're hearing relatability. We're hearing like, oh yeah, I struggle with that too. Or oh, okay, like no one's fucking perfect. No one's got it all together, but we're at least showing up and trying and like being in the arena with people makes it, I don't know, I just feel lighter with it. Like it makes it me feel like I have a village, even if that village is online. So like that was the first thing that brought up. The second thing you said was like, even if I don't approve of anger. And I think that's a good thing for the audience to kind of mull around because sadly we have to get closed up. But the difference between approving of what we have going on inside of us versus allowing. You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
like my favorite definition of acceptance, or not definition, but I guess quote around acceptance comes from Susan David's book. Um, Emotional agility says one of the great paradoxes of the human experience is we can't change ourselves nor our circumstances until we accept what exists right now. Acceptance is a prerequisite to change. But here's my favorite part. We don't like what we don't like. We just cease to be at war with it. And once the war is over, change can begin. And I think it's a really important quote because a lot of times people associate acceptance as approval. It's not.
No,
You don't have to like it. You don't have to approve. You won't approve. I would rather frame it as the
chances
op
are you're not going to approve.
right. It's like when I'm explaining acceptance to people who have that, I'm like, it's the opposite of denial. Denial says this is not what I'm experiencing. You are not allowed. It's literally a version of gaslighting.
Yeah, it shouldn't be like this. It can't be like this.
Yeah, and I think,
Ooh,
yeah,
oh,
I'm proud of you for despite your disapproval of your anger, you allowed it to come out of the dungeon and be present and come to the table and share how it was trying to protect you. I'm proud of me for doing something very similar. And all of you who's listening, if you are having the courage and allowing yourself to feel what is, even if it's messy, even if you say something you don't mean and you have to apologize for it later, like if you are having the courage to show up for yourself and allowing yourself to feel the shit that you don't approve of, I'm proud of you and good on you. Keep going.
Very proud of you. And you're not alone.
Mhm.
There are warriors out here doing the same thing as you. So keep on moving forward with that. Connect with your tribe. Come
Mhm.
join us in the circle. We're all doing this.
Yeah. You don't have to do it alone. I think that's the most powerful thing we can do.
Life, you don't have to do it alone.
Yeah. And it's more fun when you don't do it alone. So,
It sure is. Who wants to be locked in that silo thinking you're the only crazy?
not me, because that'd be too much crazy. But thank you guys for listening. Jess, you're just a shining star. Thank you for always joining us and sprinkling your wisdom, humanity, and heart. Never leaves me without joy. And I will see you guys next episode. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of The Challenges of Change. If you're ready to stop stressing and reclaim your sense of worth, be sure to visit my website at www.changebychallenge.com. There, you'll find loads of resources, blog posts, and information on how to work with me, Cora, as your personal mindset coach. Remember, if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Don't let burnout or any other obstacle hold you back from living your best life. Take the first steps towards positive transformation today. Thank you again for listening. Stay confident, stay inspired, and embrace the challenges of change. Until next time.